Hey you guys, welcome back to the Baker's Oven. As you guys know, I'm John Baker, and welcome to the new setup. We're almost done. It's almost complete. I still haven't got my mic hooked up yet, so I'm still using my AirPods, but as you guys can see, the lighting's getting better. We have some accent blue lights in there. I don't know if you guys can see that. I just got my new lights in and got them all set up finally, so I'm super excited about this. And I told you guys, we're gonna be going along this journey together on building a YouTube channel. Hopefully it's going to be a successful YouTube channel and we can have some fun with this. But in this video, I wanted to talk about why I think you should try a sales job. I know many people immediately eliminate themselves as being a salesperson. They say that they wouldn't be good at this. They're afraid to give it a shot. They don't want to get rejected. They don't want to bug people. They don't want to harass people. So I know there's a lot of negative connotations around sales. And to be honest, this is my very first job was in sales at the age of 18, and I'm still doing it 10 years later at the age of 27. I guess I don't know math, but I guess let's cut that. Well, actually, we're not doing any cuts or edits, but 18, what is this? Okay, yeah, almost 10 years, 9 years later. But yeah, sales has a negative connotation, and I do think there's a lot of positives, a lot of benefits to sales. And I didn't realize this until a couple years into just selling our product. And I also looked up a couple little articles here that I wanted to highlight on why sales is a great skill set to have. The first thing that comes to mind, everybody knows this, everybody thinks this, but sometimes it sounds like it's too good to be true. And that's the high income opportunity. I think the great thing about sales is I can't talk today. You're paid based off of your results. You're paid based off of your value that you deliver and that you bring. And I almost consider it like a sport, right? Like think about it. The best way to determine who's the best players on the court is how you perform in the game. And that's what sales is on the day-to-day basis. And if you suck and you're not good, I mean, it shows it with your paychecks. And if you are good, it shows it on your paychecks. And that's the thing that I really like a lot about the sales opportunity is having a high income opportunity. Because most jobs, yeah, you're going to get a salary or you're going to get paid a nice hourly wage. And most people here in California, they're like, oh, I want to be making $25 per hour. And that's great and all, but you're only limited to so many hours in the week. So if that makes sense, you kind of have a cap on your earning potential. Now with sales, you're paid based off of the sale. You get a commission if you haven't ever done sales before. And the bigger the sale, the higher the commission. And depending on what company, you can actually have like a base salary and a commission on top of that. But I think it's just great to be able to work for something more, right? When you're in a salary job, you no matter if you flip burgers the best, no matter if you're the best at this, best at that, you're really, really capped at your potential that you guys can gain with the company. Now, even if you're in a career position or you're like, John, I'm happy where I'm at, I still think people should try it at least once in their life, whether it's like knocking on doors, whether it's doing like MLM, multi-level marketing, or if it's just like working with other types of companies. You just get a chance to get a taste of what that is. And if you guys are curious on what my biggest sales paycheck is, comment below. And if we get enough likes and comments on this video, I'll be more than happy to share that with you guys and show you the breakdown on how that happened. But I'm not going to save that. We're going to save that for another video. The second thing is job security. And I think this is the one that gets overlooked a lot, right? Because think about it. If you can sell a product, if you are valuable yourself and you can crush it, you can sell any product, that means you will never not have a job, because every organization, every company has a sales department, or they need to make sales, they need to close in deals, because that's where the money comes from. So if you can sell yourself, you can sell a product, you can connect with customers and build referrals, you're always going to be employed, you're always going to have a position. And I think that's really, really important. I think right here in this article says 15 million people work in the sales industry within the US alone, and that's about 5% of the total population. So it's not super competitive, right? Like most companies are always looking for a salesperson. So just think about that for a second. It's like you can sell cars, you can sell houses, you can sell whatever. Like it doesn't like you can sell insurances. So you'll always have a job. So I think that's really cool. The third thing is the flexibility. And this is what initially attracted me into the sales job is I never wanted to be stuck somewhere all day. I never wanted to be trapped for 8 hours in a day or whatever the case may be. I love being able to golf in the morning and then go work for a couple hours in the evening. I love not never having to miss a birthday party, a family event, a wedding, a holiday. That's really great for me to be able to set up my time with that without having to really go into a manager. Now, I'm not saying every sales company that doesn't have a manager or a certain type of schedule or hours, but most you have a lot of flexibility and control over your time, and I think that's really important. The fourth thing, which led me to starting this channel, is continuous skill development. As I told you guys in my very first video, I don't know how to do a YouTube channel, right? So we're still learning. We're going along on this process. This is my first video with my new lighting and everything like that. I'm just really happy to be doing this video. Like as I'm looking at myself, I'm like, man, the lighting is just so on point. I'm not holding my camera up anymore. So, but we're always learning new skills because again, you're paid based off of your value you can bring. And the more value you can bring to a wide variety of customers, the better you're going to do at your sales job, which it comes back to that high. You're going to be one of the highest income earners if you continue to work on your skill and your development. There are salespeople that don't make a lot of money because guess what? They just complain. They talk about all the things that go wrong and they're not working on themselves. Usually they're not looking here and they just continue to do them. They're like, I'm not changing myself. I'm not going to that stupid conference. I'm not asking that guy the questions. And usually those people just kind of get stuck. They either just barely make ends meet or they just fall out of the sales position. They're like, I need to go get a stable job. So continuous skill development. I think it's really important to continue to learn and grow and develop your skills. And they become very abundant when you're in the sales industry. The fifth thing is it becomes a career stepping stone. All right. And I think that's really cool too, because think about it. A lot of people may not dream of a career in sales. Like leaving high school, my first dream was to be a professional athlete. I thought I was going to be a professional BMX rider. I thought I was going to be a professional football player. Then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go work at Big Five or one of these sporting goods stores, and I'm gonna run the whole organization. Then I was like, you know what? Maybe I want to be a CEO, and that's okay. But most people usually don't get those roles, and it's a great stepping stone for many other careers. Just getting that experience and getting a chance to network with a lot of people. I think I have thousands and thousands of customers in my database now. And all these people do different things, and you get to learn about a lot of careers that aren't even taught or mentioned and things like that. Like something silly, like a manufacturing company that makes bottle caps. This guy had one of the most insane houses I've ever been to, and I was like, "What do you do?" And he was like, "You know those water bottles, the caps on them? My company, I own the company that makes the tops for a lot of these companies." And I was like, didn't even think about that. So sometimes you can meet the right people in the industry, and this comes back to sharpening your axe and making sure your skills are on point and you're continually developing. The better you can come across, the more sharp. And when I say sharp, it's just like professional, crisp, clean, clear with your words, like confidence. All those things kind of add up. And if you're in front of the right person, you're gonna get offered some other opportunities. So you just never know where it might lead you. And then I also think about just also with that, with like continuing on your skills, this comes back to like the fourth one, is also just being in the, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess you're always working on the skills that are in demand, right? I think of in 2020 when COVID and everything hit, everything moved virtual. And in our company, we used to do everything in the home. We were able to transition over into the virtual offices. There was a lot of managers and sales representatives that were able to adapt, and they moved their business virtually and they crushed it. Then there was a lot of people that are like, I'm gonna wait for this thing to blow over. They didn't want to change their skills. They didn't want to change how they did things, and unfortunately, like a lot of those people fell out of the business. So you're always continuing to improve because the sales game, people, where it's always changing. So you always have to adapt with those skills. Let's see here. Now I'm on a website called Impact, and I'm getting a couple of cool tips here. Something else that they mentioned with like these skills that are in demand right now. The first thing is your soft skills, right? Like your people skills, social skills, communication skills. Those are definitely important. I think about me when I first started this job as a 18-year-old. I was a pretty shy, introverted kid around adults. And I never was the kid that was always talking to all the adults at the parties and everything. I kind of kept to myself, kind of spoke whenever I was spoken to. But then once I did this job, I actually learned what to say and how to carry a conversation. So that's how I learned a lot of these soft skills. Like if you asked me to start a YouTube channel when I was in high school, I'd have been like, heck no, I'm super shy and nervous in front of a camera. So now it's just pretty normal talking to people. The other thing I think about is like your creativity. This is your ability to think differently and always find a way to solve a problem. So one thing I think is different from me and a lot of my friends, my fiance even, and family members is usually a problem happens or a challenge, and most people just sit there. They're like, we're not gonna be able to do it. Let's turn around. Let's go home. Oh, this isn't gonna work out. But I'm always the guy that's like going around back and like, hey, can I speak to a manager? Hey, how can we get this solved? I know, and you have a different level of compassion, and when you're doing a sales job, you're always trying to work towards a goal. You're always trying to work towards something, and there's always going to be a challenge or an obstacle, but you're like, man, I really need to hit this goal, and you're just driven to succeed, that you always try to find a way. And now those problem solving skills go directly into real life, so you can always find a way. Persuasion. Now, this is not your ability to manipulate. I think this is the thing that a lot of people get confused with persuasion and manipulation. Right? Manipulation is where you take advantage of somebody that's innocent, right? And unaware. And that is wrong to do. You should never do that. And people that do use those skills for that, that's not the point of it. Persuasion is your ability to influence and inspire someone else to take action on something. And I think about my YouTube channel here. My goal is to persuade and inspire some of you guys to go start your own YouTube channels of your own. I just wanted to show you guys how easy and simple it is, right? It doesn't take anything special, doesn't take anything crazy to just go out there and start and begin. So I'm trying to sell you guys on starting a YouTube channel. Now, I don't get paid or any compensation from this, but like that's my goal of this channel, is to inspire other people to take actions on their lives, to start saving money and investing and then start growing themselves personally, start their own YouTube channel, whatever the case may be. But that's the difference between like persuasion versus manipulating. Like manipulating is like when I see your weakness, I'm going to take advantage of that for my own good. And that's not good at all. So I think that's a big difference. Also collaboration. Right, your ability to work with others, I think, is a key to being able to succeed in personal and your professional life, right? And unfortunately, whether you like or hate working with people, you have to, right? They're going to be there everywhere, and I think the better you are at understanding and listening to people, the better you're gonna be able to go about your life on a day to day. And I think listening is a huge skill. Right, I've done so many appointments with customers where I actually didn't even say anything. I just listened. And I think they just appreciate that at a different level. Adaptability is big, your flexibility and openness to changing environments, right? Not everything's going to be perfect on a sales day. Like those of you guys that go out there and knock doors, you're probably going to have a rainy day. That doesn't mean that you just like, can't work today. What if it rains all week? You're not going to just take off a week of work. So you got to be able to continue to go out there and get it. Also, when this is, I think, another big thing that separates a lot of salespeople from the others, right? Usually, if you're working a normal job that's hourly or salary, as soon as the clock hits your time to get off, you stop everything you're doing, you stop working, you stop all that, and you leave. Right? Even if your boss is like, hey, can you just stay an extra 10 minutes? And you're like, no, am I getting paid for that? No. Salespeople, we work until the job gets done. Whether I get done in an hour and I'm like, all right, cool, I did all my work for the day, or if I'm working like 10 hours, 12 hours all day to get something done, or if one of my customers calls me and they're like, John, I need you now. Can you make a way to squeeze me in? And I was like, yeah, I could drop some things to make this happen. Right? You don't always do that, right? You still want to have your sense of time management, which we could talk about in a later video, but you got to be willing to adapt, right? Like you're not going to have a perfect schedule. And what I also mean by that is like you might have to go work a weekend, right? You might have to stay up a little bit later and work on a deal to make sure everything goes through and goes smoothly for the customer. And you put in that extra time, you put in that extra work. So I think that's really, really important. I've heard a lot of successful people that I look up to. Like I think of Grant Cardone. He told a story about how he already told the guy he was on his way to New York. He didn't even have a plane ticket. He's like, yeah, I'm already going to be in New York tomorrow. How about we meet up then? And the guy was like, oh, since you're going to be in town, yeah, for sure, let's do it. So then right after that call, he booked the ticket, flew to New York, and make sure he got this meeting with a high level client. So that's something that is important to be able to adapt to whatever your environment is to achieve the goal. This next one is a big one: time management. All right, and my fiance's been wanting me to make a video on work-life balance because she says I do a really great job of it, getting all my work done, plus spending a lot of time with her, plus doing all my own personal interests and hobbies. So that video will come if we get enough likes on this video. Like this video, so that way we can make this one later on down the road. But time management is huge. It's so huge, right? And most people plan for the exact time. This is something I just recently learned too from my coach. So most people just plan for the exact time, like, hey, I'm going to be doing this from 12 to 1. But you're not taking into consideration that it's going to take you 30 minutes to get to this location, right? It's going to take you 10 minutes to load the car after the grocery store. Then it's going to take you another 30 minutes to get back home. That's all part of time management. So most people don't give themselves enough time when they do start to manage their time. So they still feel like they're always rushed. So like, I'm using my planner, I'm writing everything down, but why do I still feel chaotic? You got to make sure you take into consideration the lag time, right? Like when you go to the gym, you kind of get warmed up and stretch, and then you start your workout. Then your workout's an hour. So you shouldn't count that 15 minutes of stretch and whatever time it takes you to get there as part of the workout session. Then after you work out, what do? Usually you cram some protein in you, take a shower, and then you get ready, right? So, and then there's also the drive time to get home. So you got to take all that into consideration. I think that's a lot of time that people miss out on when they're planning their schedules, right? So think about that time before the gym, getting there, and then that time after you did your workout. That's probably an additional 30 to 45 minutes, maybe even an hour for some of you guys that you just take out of your schedule that you think is just magically gonna work itself out. But people with soft skills have the necessary discipline to tune out their distractions and meet deadlines and get the most out of their workday. So, and then the last couple things here are conflict management and stress management. All right, so there's gonna be a lot of things that go wrong, right? You guys get this just in regular work. We also get this in the sales field where your customer like places a big order with you. You think everything's going well, and then they're like, "Hey, actually, we want to cancel it." And you're like, "What? Everything seems so well. You guys seem so happy about it." And now you got to try to resolve this conflict and try to save the order with you got to save this order because obviously it's like, oh man, this is like an order. Like I need this order to hit my goals, but also I want to make sure the customer is getting exactly what they want out of this situation and the experience. So I want to understand a little bit more. I want to understand my customer and see what's really going on and see if I can provide a solution or see if it's best for them to just cancel. But you got to be able to manage that conflict. And then there's also going to be some things that overlap where you're just like, it's a really stacked day and you're like, I got this going. I have no time for any breathing room. So it's like sometimes I even have to tell the people that I work with, hey, when this door is closed, that means I'm in the zone. Do not come in, do not knock. Send me a text, but I might not even see your text because I'm going back to back on meetings on Zoom and everything like that. So just being able to manage that stress, like what do you do? What do you do? Tell me in the comments, like what do you do to release some of the stress and the conflicts and everything like that. And then I also think about customer service and emotional intelligence. I think that's really important to understand things looking from your customer's eyes, from your customers looking in, but also just being understanding, like being smart emotionally with your customers, right? Like what emotional intelligence is. Let me see the best way I can explain this. Um, Basically, being able to understand your customers' emotions before they really show you what their emotions are, right? Like usually when that customer is blowing up and angry and yelling at you, that could have been prevented a few moments ago, right? Because you can see body language. Like when your customers like this, they are not comfortable, right? They are not ready to be talking. They're not in the zone right now, right? When your customers like this, that means they just want to get out of there. Like they're bored. They're not really interested in it. So you want to be able to pick up those signs and read those earlier on. And then I think the last skill set that you learn as a sales representative is storytelling. And you guys will probably notice this on my channel. I'm going to tell a lot of stories, a lot of examples from my personal experiences, a lot of examples from other people's experiences, but being able to tell a story, capture your audience's attention. So I just noticed, I looked at the time of this video and wow, 20 minutes can fly. All right, so this is the longest video that we've made. There's not going to be any edits. I'm not doing that right now. I'm not doing it. I just won't do it. But let me know what stood out to you. Let me know if I missed anything. I went off a list off of impact as well as my own list that I created, and I just wanted to share why I think sales is important for somebody. And now that I think about it, I think we need to make this video a lot shorter, but we'll do that later. We'll do a retake of this for sure and condense it into maybe like 10, 15 minutes or so. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you made it to the end, I love you. All right, I appreciate you guys. If not, I'll know for sure. But yeah, like, subscribe, share. As you guys know, we're always going to be cooking up in here. Thank you guys. Goodbye.